Good evening, gentlemen. I went back to the furniture store that doubles as the trash company and raided their e-waste again for the rest of the shit that was sitting there when I got the box of other loot, and along with a Windows XP era compact Presario that isn't worth mentioning, that I'm just going to steal parts from and then consign to oblivion. There was this thing. It is some sort of old PC clone, presumably a 286 since it says AT4 on it, and you can see a 16-bit ISA slots inside of it. It has nothing other than the motherboard in it. I haven't taken it apart yet. I've only taken the one screw out of the back that was holding it together before beginning to film this. So let's look at it from the top and put the stupid phone away. Hang on a second. I gotta close the stupid camera app. Alright, this machine is covered with AIDS. But let's see if it'll come apart. I think it will. Alright. It has many dead bugs living inside. Check it out. Now I won't have to cook dinner this evening. Excellent. Mr. Beefy, you can clean that out for me. Alright, what do we have here? AT4 BIOS and a bunch of stuff. A bunch of slots. That is a big ass board. Here's a battery which is surely dead. I will remove it out of principle. There's a heat sink on top of the CPU. That is not something that one sees very often on the 286. At least I assume that PLCC package there is the CPU. There's a crystal right beside of it, a 16 megahertz crystal and a 12 megahertz crystal. So no, it isn't one of those 25 megahertz boards that someone in the Discord was asking about. Oh, that looks pretty good over here. Yeah, that's pretty gross. I would be highly surprised if this thing works anymore. That is a lot of mouse turd. Yeah. So yeah, it's a very early AT board though. It doesn't have any place to put sims in it. It's just all RAM on the board. So that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see if it works. I've got an AT power supply somewhere if I can find it. But I'm going to clean the thing up a little, or at least get rid of the shit before trying it. So Tomcat, it says. There was obviously no Tomcat in here keeping the mice out. I made it funny. Okay. Let's put this aside and get on to the next project. This is an XTCF Mini that I see. Now, there's an arrow on the XTCF Mini that points to the rear of the PC, and if you're me, that obviously means that you point the arrow towards the front of the PC, plug it in, and apply power to it. And when you do that, it puts various voltages on various things that aren't supposed to have those voltages on them, which results in unfortunate circumstances, such as blowing the card up.
It looks to me like positive 12, negative 12, and negative 5 were put on some of the address lines. I looked at the schematic and figured out exactly which ones, and I can't remember exactly what they were off the top of my head. But in any case, it looked like those address lines went to the ROM and this U3 right here, this comparator that does some decoding. Presumably the I don't know if that's the ROM decoding or the I/O port decoding. And I didn't look that close. It looks like, well, anyway, it doesn't matter. That IC was the one that those address lines connected to. So I just clipped all the leads on it and then pulled the pins off with a soldering iron instead of trying to use a heat gun, because I always end up, heating things that I shouldn't and then bumping things, and I would have fucked up that little bypass capacitor and other stuff like that. So when the chip's junk, I think it's a lot easier to just cut the stupid leads and remove the things. But I did finally get the chip that I need to solder back on there and see if that fixes it. In fact, I got a couple of them just in case it's actually this one that's bad. I don't have any SOIC sized 74 LS32s or LS04s. I don't think so. If one of those is actually bad, I'm humped. But this is the only one that I think is going to be an issue, according to the schematic. Unless I'm even dumber than I think. All right, let me get this shit out of the way, literally. Well, the first thing I want to do is try to clean up those pads some. Get the solder down to where everything's an even height. Make it a little easier to attach the new IC, I hope. This is probably unnecessary, but put a little paste flux on there and suck it off a little bit. That sounded wrong. Right. That looks pretty good. Good enough for who it's for, anyway. We gotta be careful not to fuck up that bypass capacitor. I don't want to solder that little shit back on there. That'll make me grumpy. Grumpier than usual, I should say. Let me get where's my booger snatcher? Oh, here it is, right in front of me. Duh. Alright, so the first step is to make sure that we put the IC on backwards, because that always makes everything better. And then the way I do these is I tack down opposite corners. I tack down one corner first, make sure it's still aligned, and then tack down the opposite corner, because it's still real easy to get off that way if I fuck up. Which is a pretty common occurrence for me, as you've probably seen around here. And then once it's all lined up, I just solder the rest of them. And this is a whole lot easier to do when you're looking straight down on the thing, which I'm not doing right now, because otherwise my greasy, dirty, ugly head would be in the way. So this may result in some dumb fuckery, but if it does, we'll fix it. Yes. I'll get a little bit here. See? Bump. Fuck it up. A little bit here. Tack it down. Didn't get enough. Maybe I did. Doesn't have to be pretty. We'll go back and redo it. And then let's do the other side. We didn't get it centered very well on the pads, but I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. We'll solder it anyway. There we go. I think that'll stick. Is it on there? Yeah, it's on there. Is it lined up? Yeah, it's lined up. Alright, let's solder the bastard. Am I still in frame? I don't know. Who cares? Nobody's watching this anyway. little too much right there. Unless there's supposed to be a bridge there. Whee! Well, you dirty rascal. It doesn't want to cooperate. Does it? There we go. Much better. Much better. Oh, a little too much there too. I'll get out of here, solder. You're gonna fuck me up. Alright. That is only 90% ugly, which is good enough for me. Let's see if we can bridge this up. I said it and did it. That's service. That is service. Reheat those, make sure they're stucted. Stucted, that is a technical term. Well, that's pretty ass-like. You can probably see that better on the camera than I can with the naked eye. Because my eye is naked. It doesn't wear clothing. My eye is a nudist. I don't think I've got enough. That's what she told me. Story of my life. Okay, that's good enough. I don't give a shit as long as it works. Let's get that nastified fluxification off of there now. I'm gonna have to clean my my jar one of these days. It's getting pretty filthy. Man, that solder mask burned. I only got the fucking soldering iron on 350. That's, look at that. Look at that. Look at that solder mask burned right there. Huh. I'll be fucked. Man, that is disgusting. I gotta switch my alcohol. Let's try the spray bottle and a Q-tip. Oh, I'm out of Q-tips in my jar. I gotta get them out of a box. There we go. Without knocking everything over. Yeah, that's good enough. Alright, I think I've got everything plugged in so this thing will post without bitching. Let's see what happens. Alright, I reckon that fixed it. Excellent. Alright. U3, that's what you gotta replace if you stick one of those in backwards. And maybe the ROM. Some of those lines were connected to the ROM, I'm pretty sure. Unless I traced some shit wrong, but I'm kind of surprised it didn't blow the ROM up, but it didn't. Alright, bye.